Michael. After the big test of Brisbane, I'll get the perfunctories out of the way. How have all the girls pulled up health and fitness wise? What's the status of the squad heading into tomorrow?
Yeah, same. Out of the 23 contracted players, we have 21 available. Um, so the only one still is Briley. 2 weeks ago, had a delayed concussion, which is still struggling. So not quite right for this week again. But otherwise, everyone else is fit and available.
There's no indications that Briley could be a long-term injury. Yeah, she'll be in the frame for Western Sydney next week.
Should be, but we don't want to take any risks with obviously concussion. She's doing a lot of work with her specialist in that area, so it's one of those things day by day. She's feeling better, but she hasn't quite been training with the team yet. So hopefully over this weekend she can start getting the boots on and doing a bit of running around. And if she ticks those boxes, then we keep progressing her.
Awesome. And in terms of looking ahead to this week, the Raw win was such a positive result, first versus second. I guess, how do you keep them standards high, keep the expectations high heading into Western United?
Look, we're really focused on ourselves and how we improve every single day, every single week. So there shouldn't be any room for complacency. I think the players are driving those standards really well. I think we've got a really core group of leaders, even outside of our four leadership group members. There's probably another 6 or 7 that could be in there quite easily. So, and everyone knows that our squad is deep, and you have a couple of bad training sessions or slightly off in a match, you're probably going to get rotated, and someone else will come in and fill your spot. So I think it's a healthy competition at the moment, and training's been ferocious this week. So we're looking forward to tomorrow.
Because in such a young group, I imagine those on-field leaders, those dressing room leaders, make your job so much easier than it possibly could be if you didn't have them. Who are some of those sorry, I'll say that again. Who are some of those leaders in the playing group that you're leading on?
Well, I think one that's obviously a little bit older, but TJ is obviously playing. She's going to be playing a 100th game tomorrow, so which is 100th league game, which is exciting. And she actually played for both of the sides. So she initially played for us back in the day, a long, I think, 7-year spell, I think it was. And then she spent a couple of years with Western and now back with us. So that'll be a big milestone for her. But players like Husey, Leah, Carly, these type of players are definitely leaders in their own right. So we have a lot of experience. And look, like I said to the girls earlier, if you had been playing in the league for 7-8 years, to play 100 matches is a big accomplishment, because there was only 12-14 games. You got a couple of injuries. You're playing 10 games a season, if that. So these days, obviously, players are going to hit that 100 mark, potentially within 4 years now. So I think the more games the players can build into their repertoire, I think the more experience they gain. So, yeah, I think we've got a good blend of some older experienced players, but then like some of the players that I just mentioned that are 21, 22 already played 60, 70 league matches. So we're in a good space.
With TJ playing her 100th match on the weekends, when you look at her career, it's been such a long one. She's been a part of invincible squads at Melbourne City, but then stuck around and became one of the league's better left backs as we went through that transition away from the Matildas era, and now she's back at City after helping Western United establish themselves. Do you think she's underappreciated for the presence and what she's brought to this league?
Look, I'm probably too new to the league to make that assumption. I'm not too sure, but all I know is what we definitely appreciate her, and even within the club, when the opportunity arose to re-sign her, obviously I did my personal research, because I didn't know her, and obviously saw her quality and thought she would be a perfect experienced leader coming back. Speaking to her, wanted to come for all the right reasons. So on definitely on our club's point of view, and me personally, she's definitely not underestimated or underappreciated.
And looking at Western United, they've been yo-yoing up and down over the past few weeks. Good result, not so good result, good result, not so good result. What have you made of their form?
Well, I think they're very solid. I think they're hard to break down. I think they had a couple of bad moments, which they sort of conceded a fair few goals over a couple of weeks. But I think if you take that aside, I think they're a very hard team to break down. I think their defensive shape is excellent. I think they're a physical team where they make some really good forward runs from their either 10 or second striker. So they rotate that very well. And I think they're great at getting wide and getting crosses into the box. So these are the areas that we need to be aware of, that we've trained, showed our playing group. And if we can nullify that and play our style and impose ourselves on the match, then we'll go a long way to getting the 3 points.
Because Western have generally had a pretty good record against their Melbourne rivals since they entered the league, and that physicality was one of the big reasons behind it. How do you go about counteracting that if they try to get physical again with you tomorrow night?
Look, one of the big things that we've been doing since day one of pre-season is how we, our pressing techniques, how we use our body, how we use our forearms, how we're aggressive in our duels. And that's one of the internal metrics that the playing group helps drive in how we're winning our aerial and ground duels, which we've been very successful this year. So if it becomes a bit of a scrap and there is a bit of a fight, then we're definitely up for that as well.
And I'll ask the requisite question again. Holly, she came on in the second half against Brisbane Roar. Up for a start this week?
Like I said last week, I think she's definitely progressing really well. She's up for selection. She can play around that 60-minute mark. And like all the players, they need to perform. So it's all based on performance. And if, yes, she's a great player, Holly, but she obviously needs to earn her spot as well.
And the other requisite question I've been asking you, transfer window's open. There's been no interest in your players?
No, a few weeks ago we had some rumours, more so not from within the club, sort of outside, people sort of telling me that there's some interest, but no, nothing concrete and nothing that we're really hearing.